Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to chapter 21.5 of Tales of Tyrasia. Joining me this evening, we have, all by herself, Ikuni Patata playing Ninsala Yasnala Osterosh, the Doroshi Erva Ranger of the Beast Conclave, followed closely by her loyal giant badger, Oswald.
Hi.
Let's play some D&D, shall we?
Heck yeah.
So, this is a little strange, isn't it? I don't have a myriad of voices in my ear. I only have one.
Wee.
So, for those of you confused as to what's happening, spoilers, Ninsala decided to branch off the main party and head back to the settlement of Telasi to pick up the chainmail armor that she ordered from the blacksmith in Telasi, and thinking that the party wouldn't be heading back that way for quite some time, and also wanting to kit out her little Oswald with some better gear so that he doesn't get one shot by a Tarask. Yeah, she's heading back while the main party headed off in the direction of the fishing village of Yali. So this is where this side quest, side campaign, whatever you wanna call it, is basically going to be going down. I am going to be running these like little side quest sessions, one-on-one with Ikuni until she either makes it back to the main party or dies. Whichever comes first.
Oh boy.
Because we don't know what's going to happen. But regardless, that is why Ikuni, or Ninsala, wasn't part of the session on Saturday. So, we've already had a recap of Chapter 20, but just to keep everyone up to speed, yeah, that's basically what happened. And Ninsala was last seen sleeping in somebody's bed.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe. It's not what it looks like. Right. Okay, so over to Ninsala then. I need to get my bearings as to what time of day it is. Because the main party left off around 1 o'clock, I would say. It was like just after noon. Because it was after... No, I'd say about 2 o'clock actually, because it was like a couple of hours after like shit went down.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember if it was like roughly like an hour or so, like afternoon. And Ninsala went around Palom for a little bit and ended up buying some new leather armor, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then asked the gentleman very nicely if she could sleep in his bed. To which he agreed. And so what were you wanting then? Were you just wanting a short rest? Is that essentially what you were asking?
Yeah, but more like until it's evening, not just for an hour.
Right, okay. So you were wanting to travel at night?
Yeah, that was
okay.
the plan.
Okay. Right, okay. So Ninsala gets a decent amount of sleep, and this is while she's still like unconscious. She can hear like knocking, like in her dream, and as she slowly comes into consciousness, she can hear like knocking on wood, and 1 second. She can she just starts to slowly like eke in this voice. She can hear. Miss.
Huh? What?
Miss, are you decent?
I don't know, am I?
Well, that like how did you go to bed? Did you take off all your armor? I'm assuming you took off your armor.
I mean, the armor, yeah, but not my clothing.
Okay, so you had clothing underneath, but you took off the armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. I'm closing up shop.
Okay, thank you. I don't know, I guess I get dressed and I put my armor back on.
Mm-hmm. You're not aware of the time, but he says he's shutting up shop, so you can only assume it's definitely late afternoon.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so it takes you like 5 minutes or so to don your armor again, and get back into it all. And yeah, are you just heading back out then? Or
Yeah.
out of the room anyway?
Yeah, out of the room.
Okay. And as you open up, you can see him just like writing out some paperwork at his at the counter, and he's got like a few bits of like leather and everything in some boxes next to him, and he says, "Oh, miss, how was your sleep?"
It was good, thank you.
Good. I apologize. I had to wake you, but I am shutting up for the night.
Oh yeah, no, this is working out fine. What time is it?
It's about 6 o'clock.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, we're just going then.
Oh. Okay then.
Yes.
If you need anything else in the future, please feel free to come on back.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you.
And like as you're like heading out the door, he shouts out, "Tell your friends."
Are you planning on opening a hotel or something?
I meant more for my goods, my lady.
Sure.
And yeah, you head on out. So it's now like 6 o'clock, and you notice around you people, as you get back into the hustle and bustle of Palim, you can see a lot more people wandering around. The sun, it's definitely like a warmer sun now. Like as it starts to get like later in the day, you kind of get the like orangey light more than a white light. And you start to see like clouds are starting to like gather in. There's not much. It's not such like a clear, bright sunny day kind of look. It's almost like a looming, like encroaching, puffy grey clouds. They're not exactly like foreboding, but you can definitely tell that it's possibly going to be a pretty dark night.
That's good. I wanna head over to the Warden's Enclave.
Okay, sure. Right, okay. So you're currently, let's see. I don't have that document open. 1 second.
The district of the body, I think.
Yeah, I forgot to open that up. There we go. I have a separate document for like all of the Palam's information.
Oh jeez.
Just so I don't give you misinformation. So yeah, you just left Garen's Leathers, which is in the district of the body. So you're in the like northwest ish. So you need to head southeast of where you are. So yeah, as you get closer to, as you're like wandering down the like main road to Palam's Heart, you notice like Palam's Heart. You immediately can tell like why Palam's Heart is like regarded this way, because like as soon as you get closer, it feels like, you know, like crowded shopping mall-esque. You know, when like all the shops are closing and everything. Like there's a lot of hustle and bustle around Palam's Heart. It's why it's called Palam's Heart, because like all of the like foot traffic just like goes through here. So the closer you get here, you can see like a lot of people, you know, wandering around. You do notice in the north though, you're coming from the north. You notice that there's like a lot less people around like the like sooty like aftermath of what happened earlier. There's like a lot less people wandering around here. There's a lot tighter like guard or like warden patrol around this particular area. But aside from that, like everywhere else of Palam's Heart is like pretty crowded with foot traffic. A lot of like onlookers as well, like looking over to see like what exactly happened, because there's still like scorch marks everywhere from you know, from the explosion. So yeah, you head south to Palam's Heart, which is also where the Warden's Enclave is.
Yeah.
What are you wanting to do here?
I want to see if I can talk to Hakari.
Okay.
If he's available.
Okay. So you walk up to the Warden's Enclave, and as usual, at all of the entrances you've seen into the Enclave, because there are multiple, there's two wardens stood outside either side of the arch. And one of them speaks up and says, excuse me, miss? Are you here for any reason?
Yeah, I'd like to speak to Hakari.
Is there any particular reason?
Yeah, it's a private matter, thank you.
Right. I'll go and check and see if he is available.
Thank you.
And he looks over to the other warden and like nods, and they both like nod their heads, like kind of like as a bow, and then the warden heads inside, and the other warden kind of like looks over to you, and like he kind of like looks you up and down just to like inspect you, and then like looks forward again, and you know, is kind of just like looking around back to his usual like vantage. And a couple of minutes pass of you know, idling around and
Petting Oswald.
As you're petting Oswald as well, you keep seeing the warden like look down and like watching you like petting the badger. And like as you look up, he like averts his gaze, like he's not wanting to get caught watching you stroke the badger. And yeah, you can hear murmuring from the distance. You can just make out, you know, the sentence. What, did you not ask who called for me? And you can hear, like, as they're getting closer, you can hear footsteps. You can hear them getting closer, saying like, "She said that she had a private matter to discuss with you. I'm sorry." And Hakari walks around the corner with the warden that went to fetch him, and says, "Ah, yes, right. Thank you, gentlemen. You're dismissed." and they both bow and like head inside the enclave. And he kind of like crosses his arms and looks at you like intently in the eyes and says, "Yes, this private matter you were wishing to discuss with me, miss."
Oh, it's just that I'm heading back to Telasi, and I just wanted to ask if you need something delivered to Telasi, maybe a message or anything.
And he kind of like pauses and like ponders for a second and just says, how would he word this? If you come across Elodie, please just
Yes.
tell her that I am sorry we have kept our distance, and I wish for us to make amends at some point in the future.
Okay, I will tell her.
And please tell her as well that I will do everything in my power to keep Seletha safe. She has my word.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes?
When were you planning on traveling?
Tonight.
And with whom?
My badger.
And he kind of like looks down at Oswald and says, my apologies, miss. I mean no disrespect, but the forces that have been hunting you and your traveling companions may see this as an opportunity. For you to travel alone would be potentially unwise. Are you sure you have one of your
Well,
friends?
They have left for the fishing village of Yari.
Right. And what business do they have? I assume they have taken Seletha with them.
Yeah, they did. I'm traveling at night, and I'm pretty good at being stealthy, so I don't think that would be a problem.
Well, I wish you the best then, my lady.
Thank you.
And he says, "Is that all?"
Yep, that's all. Have a good night.
And he kind of like he like slowly bows his head and just says, "Good luck on your journey."
Thank you.
And as he like he wanders back into the enclave, and you can hear him like shouting like two names, and then you can hear like marching footsteps back, and the wardens both like go back to their original points outside the arch. Okay, so yeah, that probably took all of like 10-15 minutes or so. So what are your plans now? It's still
I'm
like
going to
fairly it's still fairly it's still fairly light, I would say. It's like that orangey like sundown light, but the clouds are starting to roll in as well, so it's fairly quickly getting darker.
Okay. Yeah, I wanna head over to Maple now. And
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, you're
the same, basically.
okay, so you're heading to the east. Okay, so you head on over to the Barbed Bud. 5-minute walk. You can see a lot of people are for the night. You can see that there is a couple of Eva helping with like tidying up the barbed bud, the surroundings, like picking up the door that was basically like caved in, and there are like a couple of wardens still patrolling the area, but other than that, nothing really out of the unusual. So are you just going to be heading straight inside?
Yeah, since the door's open.
Okay. Yeah. So you head in, and you see you don't see Maple immediately, but she are you just walking inside, or are you like making yourself known?
I'd probably do like hello.
Okay, so just like saying hello as soon as you walk in.
Mhm.
Okay. And you hear from the back room. Yes, what is it?
Hi, Maple.
Hello, do I know you? And she kind of like pops her head around the side and says, "Oh, Ninsala, hello.
Yes, hi.
What is it? What's up?"
I'm heading over to Telasi, and I just wanted to ask if you would like me to deliver something, a message or something.
And she kind of like scratches her cheek and just thinks and says, "I don't think so. I'm a little... I'm a little at a loss for words at the moment. It's kind of hard to think straight."
Okay, fair enough. I'll leave you to it then.
Are you heading off now?
Yeah.
I wish you luck on your journey, friend.
Thank you.
And she pops her head back round into the back room.
Okay, I'll just leave then.
Okay. Okay. So, what are you wanting to do now then?
Leaving Palim.
Okay. Alright then, so you're gonna be... I'm assuming you're wanting to head back the way you came, to an extent, through the forest that you travelled with the party?
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes you like 5 or 10 minutes to wander back to the Northern Arch. And yeah, you by about 6:30 or so, it's starting to now get quite dusky. And as you're like walking basically in line with the arch, the two wardens stationed at the Northern Arch, one of them speaks up and says, a little late for a wander there, isn't it, miss?"
Oh, yeah, that's intentional. Thank you.
Very well. Good luck on your travels. Well, where are you heading?
Good Telasi.
Telasi. It's a quite a walk. Do you have appropriate camping gear, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Very well. And he kind of like taps his like pike into the ground a couple of times, and then the other warden like does the same, and they like bow their head and basically like they nod with the intent, like, you know, carry on as you were, kind of thing. And Yeah, you wander out of Palin. You have now left Palin. As you get, I would say maybe 150 feet away from the northern arch, you hear a female voice kind of shouting you out, like flagging you down. And you can just hear from behind you, from the way you came, like from Palin.
Oh.
You can just hear a female voice shouting you down. Excuse me, miss? Miss?
Yes? I stop and turn around.
And like this Evan woman is kind of like at a hastened pace, but still like walking. Is kind of like waving you down, and as she gets within like 20 feet or so, she says, hi there, you're traveling pretty late, where are you heading?
Telasi. Why?
Oh, same. I'm going to visit my sister. Do you mind if we travel together? The name's Sulfur.
Oh, sure. I'm Nanzala.
And you notice as she gets closer, you notice she's also a Tyrasia.
Oh, nice. Oh, and this is Oswald.
Oh, hey Oswald, how's it going? And kind of like kneels down, and she like apprehensively like goes to pet, and she like looks up and says like, is it okay if I pet?
Yeah. Oswald will proceed to like jump at her and try and lick her face.
And she's kind of like, you know, pushing him down. Oh, okay, he's very friendly. Hi, boy.
Yes.
Okay then. Shall we get going?
Yeah.
And she's dressed like fairly similarly to you. She looks like she has a kind of ranger getup as well. She does have a bow on her back as well. So yeah, she's fairly similar looking to you. She does have like jet black hair and fur. Yeah, she does look younger than you though. She looks like quite a bit younger than you, but like much older than Salotha. She looks like estimated maybe like, I'd say like about 90. So she's not quite like a century old yet.
Half my age, how cute.
Mm-hmm. Actually, no, hold on. No, I've got, no, she's younger than you, but, she's definitely younger than you, but, like, she looks roughly your age, I would say. I was reading the wrong, character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's, like, a bit younger than you, but she's a similar age to you. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she looks like a lot more upbeat, and yeah, she's kind of like edging her head, saying like, "So shall we get going?"
Yeah, let's go.
And yeah, the three of you continue onwards through the woods. So yeah, as you're like wandering, she just pipes up and says, "So how you're heading to Telasi, right? How come?
Yeah.
What's the occasion?"
I'm picking up armor for my badger.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were planning on just doing this like by just with your badger?
Yeah. Why?
It's a little dangerous to go through the lowland woods by yourself.
Last time we went this way, wasn't really anything that happened. We found a frog, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's weird. Lots of stories about, well, the woods being haunted by, like, ghostly shadows.
Oh, yeah. There was something like that, but it was
Wait,
in a different forest. Huh?
you saw one?
Well, kind of. What's the name of the other village? Between here and Telasi?
Oh, you mean Nara?
Yeah. Yeah, we fought a shadow thing
You
there.
you fought a shadow thing?
Yeah, me and my friends, like the rest of the party is headed somewhere else now.
Oh,
I just
right.
had to
Oh, I
focus on-
remember. I actually saw you earlier. You were talking with like a bunch of people. You're friends with that Kragnova?
Yeah,
Huh.
I've traveled for many decades with him.
Oh, how come you're not traveling now? Where are they headed?
Uh, the fishing village on the other side.
Oh, Yali.
Uh-huh.
Huh, that's quite a way. So,
Yeah.
wow. So, how come you're not traveling together now? You seem like you were good friends.
Yeah. It's just that I have to pick up this armor and it doesn't look like our future path would lead us back to Telasi anytime soon. So,
Right,
I
okay.
have to do this now by myself.
Oh, well, right. Okay then. Yeah, I'm sorry for prying. I'm just a pretty curious person.
Uh-huh. So, how come you're traveling at night?
Oh, I like the dark. I like traveling at night.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be a pretty dark night as well. It's pretty cloudy already.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's even going to rain.
I hope so. I love the rain. Oh my god. So yeah, you've been like traveling for quite a bit now, as you've been like chatting amongst yourselves, and yeah, you after like a couple of hours or so, it's now starting to get pretty dark. And she says, "So when did you want to set up camp? I don't think we'll be able to. Well, at some point it'll get pretty damn hard to see, even for us.
No.
Or were you wanting to just? Are you wanting to just brave it tonight?
Yeah. I was planning on sleeping over the day.
Oh, okay. I guess that's." And she kind of like laughs to herself and she says, "I guess that's a pretty Darashi thing to do."
Maybe.
And she says, "Oh, okay then." And like you carry on, you know, for a little bit, and she kind of like quietens down for a few minutes, and like you notice that she keeps like looking at you, and then she kind of like averts her gaze when you notice her, and she kind of like plays it off as if she's not looking at you.
Uh-huh.
And then after like 10 minutes or so, it's now like, I'd say it's about, from the time you've been traveling, you've probably been traveling, I'd say about 3 hours now, and it's now like dark, and it's very, very cloudy, and you can just start to hear, or you can hear like in the distance rain is starting to pick up, before finally like feeling it like spitting on you as well.
Nice.
And she kind of like looks up and says, "Looks like it's our lucky night."
Yeah. I would like to pause for a few seconds and just enjoy the rain.
Okay. And like she like wanders on ahead like a little bit, and then like turns round and sees you like looking up, you know, at the sky, taking in the rain, and she kind of like looks up as well for like a little bit, and then she like looks down and walks over to you and like goes like really close to you and to your face and says, "You look really familiar."
Really?
Do I know you from somewhere?
I don't know. I mean, you said you've seen me before in Harlem, but no.
No. I feel like I knew you a long time ago. And she's kind of like, she's like looking over like at your face, like trying to discern where she's seen you from. And then she says, "Where did you grow up?"
Still out of character, I forgot the name of the village again.
Oh, Errol?
Errol, yeah. Right.
Errol, I don't suppose you grew up in the monastery?
I did, actually.
And her eyes kind of like widen a bit. And then she just mutters, You remind me of my friend of Laura."
Oh?
"You look really similar."
I don't know. Maybe?
Haven't seen her for a really, really long time. I heard the news of what happened to the monastery, and supposedly everyone died.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only survivor.
Well, I'm honestly surprised that someone else didn't die. I was traveling the world after an argument with my parents for a very long time. And
Oh,
then I settled down somewhere else. So I don't know. It was a long time since I've been to Errol.
well, it's nice to hear that I'm not alone.
Mhm.
I don't remember you from the monastery though. I don't remember an Insala. I guess I just don't remember everyone. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Let's get going again.
Oh yeah, we should.
And then she kind of like laughs it off and just says, "Well, we're never gonna get there otherwise."
Yeah.
And you both carry on onwards north. And as you're walking for like the next like hour or so, it's only until like 50 minutes pass before Ninsala realizes that Siltha's been like really quiet, like really quiet. She hasn't piped up at all. Like Ninsala's kind of been like lost in like, you know, the ambience of the trickling rain and everything. She's only just realized that, you know, Siltha isn't speaking up, and she's like, she's trailing behind a little bit.
I stop and ask her if everything is okay.
And she kind of like looks up. She looks like a little glum. And as soon as she looks up and like makes eye contact, she kind of like shakes off, you know, the look, and smiles like a little bit, and just says, "No, it's fine. It's fine. Let's carry on." And she kind of like pushes forward a little bit, like taking over you. Yeah, she's kind of like power walking, like a little bit ahead of you.
Okay.
And yeah, you continue onwards like into the night. You can hear like the odd like howling in the far distance. But nothing that seems like, you know, you're being tracked by like a creature. It's more just like ambience from like a shadow fang in the distance, like howling. And like another like 15-20 minutes pass or so. Like at this point it's pretty late. Like it's very dark now. It's lighter for you because you have dark vision. But it's very dark, and it's raining fairly heavily now, and she suddenly stops and like slowly turns around to look at you.
Huh? What is it?
And she's like, you can see as you get closer, her eyes are wet, but she looks like she's been like crying.
Oh no. What's wrong?
And she just says, she walks up to you, like with like, she's trying to like sniffle back like these tears, and she looks like right in your eyes and says, "I'm so sorry."
Why? She didn't do anything wrong.
And she, from under like her shirt, she pulls out a pendant that looks exactly like the one that Arathin was holding, or was wearing rather. And
Of course.
and she just says, "Really, I'm so sorry. It's the only way I can get my sister back." And
Can I like?
as soon as she says that, she immediately bursts in this black fog. And she is gone.
With the pendant?
Yeah. She was wearing it. She just showed you what it was.
Ah. I I kinda knew that was a trap. But Nensala didn't. Um, I know.
So yeah, you are currently now, like, alone in the lowland woods. Well, you're with Oswald, but... Yeah, it is now, like, pitch black and very raining. And Siltha's gone.
I'm gonna leave the path and walk back.
What, you're going back to Palom?
Yep.
Okay, sure. All right. You turn back south, and head back to Palom. And like as you travel, like
And
I'd say
off the path. Right.
yeah. I'd say after like after 5 minutes of you being off the path and like no, I'd say like 10 minutes. 10 minutes passes when you're off the path and traveling like back southwards, and you can hear in the distance I don't actually think I have a voice mod for what I wanted to do, so I'll just explain it. It's basically just like, it's not very like echoey, but it's very distant, and you can hear like a female voice shouting out from north of where you are, shouting out, Nensala!
I'm not answering. I'm gonna hide.
Okay. And she's gonna keep shouting out. She's shouting out. I'm not gonna bother shouting out because it's like, I don't have a thing set up for it, but she's basically shouting like, I'm sorry, please let me talk.
I'm not answering.
And you can hear the voice getting more distant as she's like, it's going further away. I mean, you can tell it's coming from the north, like where you were, and it's getting more distant, so you can only assume it's going further north.
Yeah.
And you can just hear constantly, Nsala, please, just let me explain.
I just slowly continue on my path to Palom.
Okay. Okay. You keep traveling back south. Another like 5 minutes pass, and the voice you could hear from before, you can't hear anymore.
Okay.
So you just carrying on south?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you continue on south. It is now very late. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and you are completely soaked from how much it's been raining now. Are you carrying on traveling off the path?
Yeah.
Because if you travel off the path, I'd consider it difficult terrain for an hour before you get your bearings. Because your thing is, once you've been traveling on difficult terrain for an hour, you then don't suffer the penalty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for like the next hour, this is difficult terrain while you're like getting your bearings, because there's lots of like fallen branches and everything. It's not smooth walking, unlike the path. So yeah, for the next hour, you feel like you have not like gained that much like distance, and you can hear the same voice from before shouting out your name again, and it sounds like it's getting closer this time, like it's coming further south.
From the south?
Oh no, as in going south, sorry. From the north going south. As in it's getting closer. But it sounds like it's coming from the path, not, you know, off the path where you are. And the same voice is just shouting out, Ninsala, please.
Nope. I will go a bit further away from the path.
Okay. So yeah, like you can hear like her voice is getting like louder and louder to the point where you can now make out like pretty much exactly where she is. She's that close. If you want to remain hidden, unless you're like just staying still, if you want to keep on moving, I'll need you to roll for stealth.
Okay.
Because she's actively trying to find you.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sadly. Yeah. I guess I'll try keeping then. 12 plus 6, it's 18.
Okay. Alright, noted. Yeah, so she's shouting like she's shouting out your name like more and more. It's still like dark all around. You're still very far from Palem, so you can't make out any like lights, like torches or anything. It's basically just like blackness. It's not black. It's blackness for like someone who doesn't have dark vision. But like it's very cloudy, so there is not much moonlight, and also the rain is also obscuring like more vision, so it's particularly difficult to see. And as she's shouting out your name, you can tell she has now passed you, and she is now north of you. Which side of the path are you? Just so I know. Like, did you go off like the left side or the right side? Or rather, the eastern side or the west side of the path?
The west side then.
West side. Okay, so if you're going south, you went off the right side. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you can tell she is like east of you. She's like northeast, east, southeast. She is now south of you. And you're traveling south. So she's like past you now. Still shouting out your name. And you can just tell she's just like plodding along. You can hear her footsteps quite easily with your ears. You can hear her footsteps just like plopping in like the sodden mud. And you can only hear one pair of footsteps. She is, as far as you can tell, she's alone. Shouting out. And she just continues on southwards, shouting out your name.
Yep. She can search me all night for all I care.
Okay.
Stupid traitor looking ass, man. I don't want to go back into Palem. I want to like get just close to it, like in the vicinity, but still stay in the forest.
Okay, so you just want like the knowledge of potential protection. You mean?
No,
like you
more like trying to throw her and the Black and I off my path. I wanna like go back towards Palom, spend a bit time there, and then trying to go back to Telasi without being spotted.
Okay, sure, okay. Right. Okay, so you're continuing south then?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, her voice gets more and more distant. Over time, because you're traveling at, like, just slower than her because of the rough terrain. After the hour passes, Ninsala starts to get her footing. Definitely, like, a lot better when she's traveling through here, and almost as if, like, just her natural instincts, like, kick in after, like, an hour of traveling through here. Ninsala manages to just, like, find the right footing, like, with every single step. Like, she just, like, picks out all of the, like, fallen branches, and she can just avoid them perfectly as soon as her instincts kick in. And you are now traveling back at full speed.
Nice.
Okay, so you carry on for a couple more hours. Also, this affects Oswald, right? Because it affects the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Oswald, who's been, you know, like scurrying behind you, trying to avoid all these branches and everything. Oswald seems to have kicked in, like, with the powers of your natural instinct of how to cross difficult terrain. Oswald seems to suddenly become a lot more adept as well with dodging, like, all of these fallen branches and everything, and manages to keep up with you effortlessly. And as you're traveling southwards, you travel for, like, a couple more hours. It is now, like, deep into the morning. It's now, I would say, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And in the far distance, you can see, like, a flickering light south. You can't hear the voice calling out anymore. Wherever she went, you can't. She's either not calling out your name, or she's gone.
Okay.
And you can see, like, flickering light in the distance, which you can only assume, based on how far you've traveled, is Palom in the distance.
Okay.
I would say it's still, like, a good... I would say it's at least, like, 500 feet away, but you can see, like, a dancing, flickering light, like, way off in the distance south. You can definitely tell it's, like, orange. It looks like a flame. So, yeah. As far as you can tell from where you are, it looks like a torch has been lit on the outskirts of Palom. So, what are you wanting to do? Are you wanting to get closer?
No. Just like stay around where I am,
Okay.
and I wanna look for like a big tree.
Okay. There's plenty of those in the Lowland Woods. There's a lot of big trees.
I would like to rest
Okay.
in the branches
Okay.
of the ground.
How high are you wanting to climb? Because these trees go up pretty tall. Like, good, like, 40, 50 feet tall.
Just enough that I wouldn't like be seen from the ground.
Okay. I would say you probably need to go, like, maybe, like, 20 feet up then? Maybe, like, the second, like, story of branches. Because, when morning comes, it's going to be a lot easier to see you, so you probably want to be, like, high enough so you're not in kind of, like, peripheral vision.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you want to climb, like, out of view, you'd probably need to climb about 20 feet high. Which isn't difficult for the Ever. They're naturally dexterous, and they're known for climbing trees. So, yeah. Ninsala finds it very easy to climb up that high. What about Oswald, though?
I tell him to like make his own burrow, like on the side that's not pointing towards the path.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so kind of like the other side of the tree and kind of like burrows in, like, behind it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Oswald does that. Gets to work, like, burrowing in. Makes quite a lot of rustling. Like, you can hear, like, a... like, as he's kind of, like, throwing, like, dirt and leaves and twigs and everything out the way. You can hear, like, a... as he's, like, as he's digging away. And, are you wanting him to, like, dig, like, a full-on burrow, or just something that he can kind of, like, get slightly underground?
Oh, just slightly underground.
Okay. Yeah. So you can hear him, like, digging away for, like, a solid 15 minutes or so. So that he can get, like... Because he can't just, like, you know, he doesn't have, like, drills for hands. He needs to, like, properly dig up all this. And it takes him, like, a good 10-15 minutes to actually get something going. But as far as you can tell, you can't, like, passively, like, hear anyone around. And, yeah, 10-15 minutes pass, and Oswald, like, slows down with the digging and kind of, like, nestles into his quickly made burrow.
Okay.
So Ninsala's now up, like, 20 feet high in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
What are you wanting to do then? Are you just sleeping for the night?
Yeah, I'll eat the, like, other half of my sandwich I had from earlier.
Okay.
And then go to sleep.
Okay. And I assume you're just wanting to do a full rest.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd estimate it's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. So 8 hours is going to put you to 9 a.m. And as Ninsala's kind of, like, slowly drifting off to sleep to the serene, you know, sounds of the rain trickling in the branches, you're fairly well covered. Like, the canopy is covering you pretty well because you're so close to the tree. You do get the odd, like, splash, like, on your cheek. But aside from that, you're pretty dry where you are. Your clothes are pretty soaked, though. But yeah, as Ninsala, like, tries to get comfortable and just, like, zones out to the tranquil, you know, pitter-patter of the rainfall, you fall asleep. And you are promptly woken up by Oswald scratching at the base of the tree. You can hear, like, a...
Oh. I look down at him.
He's kind of just, like, looking up at you and just, like, scratching at the bark.
I guess he's hungry then. I don't know. I'll climb down to him and, like, give him a ration.
Okay.
And also eat one myself.
And, like, as soon as you get down, Oswald kind of, like, jumps onto you, like, glomps you, and proper, like, is licking up at your face and, like,
Aww.
brushing his fur, like, against you. And then, like, as soon as you, like, get out the ration, kind of, like, immediately, like, mauls your hand for it.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, so as he's, like, munching on that ration, yeah, it's still raining at this point, by the way. It is still raining, like, just as heavily. Like, you look around and the path is, like, sodden. Like, it's pretty, like, wet mud. Like, there's, like, little patches. You know when you get, like, little divots where people place their feet, like, more often than others, and it's a bit, like, uneasy. You can see, like, little puddles forming in the path, and it's proper, like, sludgy mud. Like, it's rained a lot. It seems like it's rained all night. But as far as you can tell, when Insala looks back in the direction of, which she assumed was Palom because it's south, she can't see anything now. She can't see anything in the distance. Like, the flickering flame definitely stood out on the black, but it's really hard to see if there's, like, you know, where exactly Palom is from where you are in the day, because it just blends in so well with the forest.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your plans then?
I'll head back north then.
Okay. Okay, are you staying off the path then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're staying, it's the west, right? To the left, west or east?
Well, if I go back north, it's the east.
No, I just meant which side of the path were you on? Did you say west or east?
It was the west side when I was heading.
Yeah, so you're still on the west side. Geographically, you're on the west side. Yeah. So you're traveling on the west side of it. Yeah, I just wanted to know, just so I don't get the directions mixed up. Okay, so because this is a new day, you don't have your difficult terrain, you know. You don't have your footing like you had yesterday, and it takes a while for you to get your bearing straight again. So for the first hour or so, you don't make that much progress as you are traveling over the difficult terrain off the path. But yeah, you carry on northwards, trying to remain hidden. You can't hear the voice like you could yesterday. So you can only assume that she gave up.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you wanting to travel off the path all the way to Nera? Because when you get to Nera's fairly, like, open field, remember? Before you get back into the other forest, which was further up north.
How many hours is Nera away?
Hard for you to tell, but after an hour or so has passed, by the time you get your footing again, and you get your difficult terrain penalty removed, it's hard to tell how far you've gone, but it looks like in the distance you can see a break in the path, and as you get closer, you notice that there's the sign from before that you turned the wrong way at.
Ah. So it's kind of halfway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And as you like wander closer to it, like as you're walking up to it, you see the sign fall over.
Oh.
Like it just falls over from, because it's already like worn down before. Like it was a really weathered sign. It looked like it was like rotting. And like as you're walking up to it, it's just like coincidentally it just falls over.
Oh. Well.
Like you can see it. Nothing like you're close enough to see like nothing tampered with it. No one knocked it over or anything. It just fell over. Because it's very wet, muddy ground now, and it must have just loosened it like enough for it to fall over.
I'll stay off the path.
Okay, sure. And you're gonna continue northwards to Nera then.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you continue like onwards, west of the path, like continuing north, you notice that there is there's something lying down on the opposite side of the road.
Something like a corpse, an animal.
It's humanoid, but you can't tell because it's basically just slumped over and it's not looking in your direction. But it's a humanoid body. You can't tell if it's, alive or dead from where you are. But there's a humanoid body on the floor, looking the other way.
How far away is it?
So if you're on the west side of the road, that's the left. It's on the east side of the road, just off the road, but you can fairly easily see it. I would say it's maybe 25, 30 feet away from you.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals on myself.
Okay.
And tell Oswald to check on that person.
Okay. Go and tell him then.
Yeah, I tell him.
Oh, we can speak.
Yes. Sometimes.
You want me to go over there and have a look at that body?
Uh-huh. Yeah. If it's alive or dead. I don't know.
And he nods his head and kind of creeps on over to the body and goes up to it and sniffs and then looks all around, paces around, and then creeps back to you. Says, "It's the girl. It's the girl from last night. She doesn't smell dead."
Huh.
She's asleep. You can tell from where she is as well. She is just on the floor, on the forest floor, just off the road. So she's just sleeping basically on the forest floor, while it's raining.
Does she still have the necklace?
I didn't see anything. If she does, it's in her clothes. Why? What does it do?
It's evil.
It's evil?
Yeah, it's an evil necklace.
What does it do?
Not the assassins. The black and eye people who are attacking us all the time. They use those necklaces.
Oh, the people in the black clothes?
Yeah. With the darkness on their eyes.
She doesn't have the black eyes.
No.
She looks like you.
Yeah. But they are trying to blackmail her to get to me. And they can find us with that necklace. So if she still has it, we can't help her.
But maybe we can take it off her while she's asleep.
Do you think you can do that?
Well, I don't know how quiet I can be about it. I mean, I can only use my mouth.
Well, you have claws.
I have claws, but she might have it down in her clothes. Oswald's trying to explain to you, by the way. I don't know if I explained this, like, well enough to you. But she basically, like, for lack of a better word, she basically had it, like, tucked in her bra.
Oh.
Like, she was wearing it. You could see she was wearing a necklace, but you couldn't tell what it was, because she didn't have it on show. And then she, like, took it out and revealed to you what was on the end of the chain. So, Oswald's basically saying now that he can talk to you, like, he doesn't understand, like, you know, your intense vocabulary. So he's just trying to explain, like, it's tucked into her clothes.
Okay.
He doesn't really know how to, like, get that across to you, but, like, yeah. He's basically explaining, like, he's not dexterous enough to, like, grab a chain and take it off her.
That's fine.
But he tried to say he didn't see anything. He didn't see her wearing anything. So he doesn't know if she has it or not. In the first place.
Can you go and check again if you can find the necklace?
I can try.
Okay.
And he'll like turn around and like try and like creep back. And like he's like sniffing her hair and then like looking around, and he's like trying to like peer over and look at her neck to see if she's wearing anything. And he then like, you know, creeps back and says, I can't see if she's wearing it or not.
Okay. You did a good job trying.
Thanks. Can I have a treat now?
Sure. I like pet him more and like give him a piece of a ration.
And you can hear like as you're like giving him like head pats and like scritches, he's like, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Oh yeah. And yeah, did you give him a treat, like any food?
Yeah, just like a piece broken off a ration.
And you can hear him like chewing on this like as quietly as possible, like.
Okay. Well, let's get moving.
How long does Speak with Animals last, just so I know?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. So this entire like thing has probably taken like coming up to 5 minutes now.
Okay.
Just so you know, like this, you know, conversation and him checking her like twice and creeping across and everything, because he's trying to be as quiet as possible walking over. So yeah, what were you wanting to do?
I just leave her where she is and get back on my way.
Okay. Okay, so you carry on northwards. And yeah. After like 10 minutes has passed, like further onwards, you can just hear like you can hear Oswald like trying to talk to you, but you can just hear like, you know, Badger murmuring as he like looks up like.
Sorry, Oswald. That will only last for 10 minutes.
And he kind of like knocks his head to the side, you know, like what dogs do when they're confused.
Just like give him head pets.
And he kind of like digging his head into your hand as you're doing it, and then like carries on like plodding on behind you. And as you're done with like, you know, stroking him and carrying on, you can hear like from behind you in the distance, you can hear the same voice calling out again. And like
stubborn woman.
She's sounding like it's sounding a lot more desperate now. You can hear kind of like what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. Like another word for desperation. She's got like desperation in her voice. I would say it's kind of like she's sounding like broken, like she's desperate to find you. But it's like she doesn't sound like she's getting any closer, but she doesn't sound like she's getting like much further away either. It seems like she's not moving, but just calling out.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna? Are you continuing north then?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you carry on traveling, and what would the time be roughly now? You've traveled for an hour, and then you did all of that. So I'd say it's probably like 20 past 10-ish. Yeah, I'd say about that. So yeah, you continue onwards for yeah, you continue onwards for like a good like 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so. You do see like a couple of traveling Eva with like large backpacks on. They've got like, it looks like they've got like a lot of stuff on them. You can see them traveling on the path. It's two male Eva. One is a Vian, one is a Rosadi. And they're just like talking amongst themselves, traveling south down the path.
Okay.
They haven't noticed you though, as far as you can tell.
Good.
And yeah, you carry on northwards for, I'd say, another 30 minutes or so. And the rain is like finally starting to like ease off now. And like over the next like 10 minutes or so, it gets basically just like a drizzle to the point where you can like barely hear it now.
Okay. Yeah, I think I want to avoid the next village then. I just like go around.
Okay. It would probably take considerably longer to go all the way around it, just so you know, because there's quite like a large clearing around Nara.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you keep traveling for like a good like half an hour longer, and at this point it's like basically noon, and you start to hear the voice like calling out from behind you again. It sounds like it's the voice is like out of breath. Almost as if they've been like either running or being chased. You can't tell, but it sounds like the same voice shouting out like, Ninsala, please. But it sounds like she's like out of breath as she's doing it, almost as if she's like running north. But yeah, she still sounds like she's very far south of you. You can just hear like the echoing from her like far away. And yeah, you continue traveling north.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe a bit deeper in the forest. Oh.
Okay, so you're going even further west now, like off the path.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you continue. You go like another like 30 feet or so, like into the woods. You're now like very much secluded. slightly further down in elevation now. The path is like quite a bit higher as well, and it's like it's considerably darker where you are, so you like naturally have like a bit of a stealth boost just by like where you are, because you're in like much darker terrain because of the canopy.
Nice.
And yeah, you continue onwards for like, I'd say like another like hour or two or so, and you start to see Nera like in the distance, like in the far distance. Still like, yeah, it looks like it's quite far north of where you are, but you're starting to see like dispersion of trees.
I'd like to stay like in the darkness of the trees. And
Okay.
just try and walk around it.
Okay, so you're going to be going like quite far to the west then, because it's basically like the forest. There's like a kind of like a blunt, or like a sudden forest edge. So you'd have to like basically start walking west to go around. If you don't want to go into like the clearing at all, you'd have to basically take like a sharp turn and start walking west to go like all the way around.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than getting backstabbed by some random NPC again. So it's fine.
Okay, so you continue on westward now. As you're getting closer, you kind of like veer slowly, still going north, but starting to veer like more and more west as you get closer to the forest edge. And as you like start heading off west, yeah, you start heading west at the forest edge. You can now see Nera fairly well from where you are, even though you are in like the darkness of the trees. You can see, because Nera is still, you know, very exposed because of, you know, it being in like a plains area. You can still see it's fairly still looking fairly destroyed, but you can see quite a few there are like carts full of like supplies. There's like a lot of lumber. Clearly the Nerans have been busy at work, you know, gathering more wood for repairs. And you can see quite a lot of Ever are actually like active. It's very different to when you were last here, you know, when basically everyone was dead. It's considerably different, because you can now see people are wandering like a lot more actively around the village. And yeah, as you carry on westwards deep into the forest, that brings it to, I would say, as you start to get to like enough westward to then continue going north through the forest, like going around kind of like, you know, the corner of the plains. As you start making your way north again, that's the end of your session.
God damn it.
Because that's where it brings you up to, in line with the others who are about midday for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was it was a very different session, but
Very short.
yeah, well, it's a lot shorter session. But I did say I did speak to Ikuni in advance, saying that the session would probably be a lot shorter because I can get a lot more content done in a shorter amount of time, because it's just a one-on-one thing. And also, I am basically treating this as I'm going to be running the main session on Saturdays, and however much time the main party progress through is how much content Ninsala will be going through on Fridays, because that's when I'm going to be planning on doing her side sessions until she's back together with the main party. So yeah. Did you like your first one-on-one session?
Yes. not so much the traitor, but nah.
Yeah, well... yeah. So that is going to be... We're going to continue Ninsala's side quest session next Friday. Tomorrow is going to be the main party's session as well. So for the next X amount of weeks, there's going to be 2 lots of TOT every week. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Ikuni, for being a good sport.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you enjoyed this. We still can't put any stuff on YouTube because of whatever reasons, I don't know, but VODs are difficult to upload currently. Hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you tomorrow for Tales of Tyrasia Chapter 22. The main session. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye.